Good evening and welcome. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, today was meant to be a day to rejoice and celebrate for fans of Royal Challengers Bengaluru. But it soon turned into a situation of despair and sorrow. At least 11 of those who arrived at the Chinnaswamy Stadium to catch a glimpse of their heroes tragically lost their lives in the Stampede today. But imagine how unfortunate it was. While just outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, you had RCB fans gasping for breath inside the stadium. The celebrations continued. Deputy Chief Minister even gave a statement to the media before entering the stadium. He was aware that a stampede had taken place, but wasn't in a position to confirm the number of casualties. Instead, he chose to then enter the stadium and take part in the celebrations with RCB players and pose for a photo with the squad and the trophy.
I think this is not a controllable crowd. Actually, I apologize for all the people of Karnataka and Bengaluru. We wanted to give a procession, but the crowd was very uncontrollable. I don't blame my police department. They have done their best. But ನೀವೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, crowd ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, ಯಾರು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಾವು ಯಾರು ದೊಣ್ಣೆಗೆ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. We cut off a lot of programs were there. We didn't want to continue with the program. Only within 10 minutes with one round we just closed it.
Troubling is the state's instinct to blame the very fans who came to celebrate instead of holding itself accountable. There's no admission of responsibility for its failure to manage the crowd, nor does it hold the police accountable for not ensuring a safe event. And what about the Home Minister, G. Parameshwara, who's tasked with maintaining law and order? Instead, the state shifts responsibility to the victims. When he addressed the media today, the Chief Minister even went a step further and chose to cite the Mahakumbh Stampede, where multiple lives were lost.
Nobody has expected so much a crowd will come because the capacity of the stadium is only 35,000. But 2 to 3 lakh people have come to participate in the celebration. I do not want to play politics here in this case. BJP people are playing politics. Our government is not going to play politics. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಈಗ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನ? ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಂದು 50-60 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಿಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
But watch how all sides have shirked their responsibility. While the Chief Minister is blaming the Karnataka Cricket Association, the Deputy Chief Minister has blamed the crowd and not his police. BCCI Secretary has put the onus on the franchise and the state, while the IPL Chairman has blamed the state and the leaders who were involved in the felicitation, as they claimed that no BCCI official was part of the event. However, others in the BCCI claim that the state government cannot be blamed. Now, the BJP argues that these deaths are due to criminal negligence, asserting that the Congress has blood on its hands. Take a look at the war of words.
And it can happen in any state. That means the party in power there should not be blamed for this. First we should ascertain the facts. After that we should decide what should happen and who is responsible. It can happen in any state ruled by any political party. That much, if at times it happens in some state where BJP is in power, we should not blame BJP also.
Without any proper preparedness, state government's urgency to organize victory rally is the cause for this big tragedy. And state government never bothered about preparedness. State government was more interested in publicity.
It is a state-sponsored criminal negligence, a state-sponsored murder. And Mr. Siddaramaiah, Mr. Shivakumar and the Home Minister are directly responsible. They must resign. On the one hand, people have died and you are continuing with the celebrations brazenly. This is your sensitivity. Congress speaks a lot, but it had nothing to say today.
I demand the judicial inquiries. I have a message, the police not given the permission. They refuse. Night 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, some senior minister called the police officers. No, not possible, sir. We can't control 2 lakhs people. No barricade, you want to 24 hours time at least minimum. 2 hours, 2 days, we want at least 24. There, if they, I am the government, I am saying, give the permission.
All right, and the Royal Challengers Bengaluru franchise have issued an official statement on the Stampede. It reads, and I quote, "We're deeply anguished by the unfortunate incidents that have come to light through media reports regarding public gatherings at Bangalore in anticipation in the team's arrival this afternoon. The safety and well-being of everyone is of utmost importance to us. RCB mourns the tragic loss of lives and extends heartfelt condolences for affected families. Immediately upon being made aware of the situation, we promptly amended our program and followed the guidance and advice of the local administration. We urge all our supporters to please stay safe." My colleague Karishma, who covers sports very closely over here, is with us here in the studio. Karishma, what's actually happening if you look at this RCB statement, if you look at the statements that have come in from IPL, from BCCI, and of course from the state government, this is nothing but buck passing. Each authority responsible is blaming the other.
Well, absolutely, Madhav. What we've seen is that the BCCI is saying that the involvement is of the IPL franchisee, which is the local franchisee, in this case, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, and that the BCCI has no role to play in this, which is partly correct as well, because only one victory parade has happened before, which was in 2012 when KKR had won, and they had done the same thing 3 days later after winning the final, when everything had subsided. But the big question that we want to ask is that what was the hurry? Why the rush? Why couldn't there be better planning for this? Everyone saw the crowd that was there in Narendra Modi Stadium, which is Ahmedabad, not the Bengaluru state. If fans can come in large numbers there and the stadium capacity is over 1 lakh, then what were you expecting in Bengaluru? You should have been prepared for much more crowd than the capacity of Chinnaswamy. So why this rush for the victory parade? And there were reports in the afternoon that it has been cancelled. Then it was again in a hush-hush manner said that 5 to 6 p.m. then the celebrations will shift to the stadium. And now in the statement as well, they are saying that we stopped our program, we wrapped it up in just 10 minutes. But the point is, why did it go on?
Absolutely.
Why did the ceremony was not stopped in between? Why were the players not informed?
The news was out by around 5:30 that the deaths have taken place. Yet post 6 o'clock the ceremony happens. There are certainly some very serious questions that need to be answered. Karishma, stay with us. Let me quickly open this up to all our guests joining us. Joining us now is GS Prasad, BJP spokesperson. We have Joseph Hoover, as a cricket writer, with us. Avantika Shetty, actress, is with us on the show. We also have Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka. Ashwini Kumar Mishra is leader of the Congress Party. Amrit Shenoy is a political analyst joining us, as well as Syed Aslam Pasha, political analyst. Let me start with you first and foremost. Ashwini Kumar Mishra, you know, I think the most important question was posed by my colleague Karishma. Why this hurry? Why this urgency to conduct the event today, here and now? We know that celebrations happened in Ahmedabad till late into the night. Why then was there this hurry? Because the police clearly seems to suggest, they haven't said so on record, but sources seem to suggest that they were not given adequate time to prepare. Why was that such a hurry, Mr. Mishra?
See, there were a lot of plans, plans were planned, but few of them were dropped as well. There was supposed to be a victory parade, which was dropped because of the unpreparedness and because of the time limits. Having said that, I think we had deployed enough police personnel, 5,000 police personnel for a crowd, which expected crowd of say 80,000 to a lakh, which is like having almost like one police personnel for 20. If you look at the other events with
Mr. Siddaramaiah says we expected 30,000 and we got a lakh. Who do we believe? You or Mr. Siddaramaiah?
No, I'm not saying that we have deployed 5,000 police personnel, which can manage crowd up to a lakh. That's an average crowd management where 20 to 30 person per police person is an average. If you look at the scale of Mahakumbh and all,
where were all these cops when people were dying? Why weren't they there to save their lives?
If
there were adequate cops, then why are 11 Bangaloreans dead today?
See, what happened in Bangalore is tragic. But you cannot blame the cops because they were there. They were helping them. They were helping the people. They were facilitating the injured, and they were taking to the hospitals. Now look at the amount of crowd.
Let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. Mr. Ashwini Kumar Mishra, and we have a BJP spokesperson also. But I want to bring in Joseph Hoover, because Joseph Hoover, you know, you have covered the Chinnaswamy Stadium for decades now. You're a very senior cricket journalist. You know, would you like to respond to what's being stated here by Mr. Mishra? Were the cops adequate in number? And where were they when people were dying? If there were adequate cops, certainly we wouldn't have a stampede-like situation.
Madhav, I should say and admit it's been a total system collapse and there's been a systematic chaos there. If they're going to say we had enough people, then they would have had everything under control. When you knew the stadium can take only 30,000 people, why on earth did you allow 2 lakh people to march towards the stadium? You could have funneled the crowd coming in and stopped them at certain entries and said, this is all we can take. I'm not blaming the cops. I am just saying this was rushed, as you rightly said earlier, as Karishma also said, this has been rushed. From what I gather, there was a plan to have the event tomorrow. But apparently, one of the senior leaders here in Karnataka said, no, there are other events happening. There's a World Environment Day event happening, which is very symbolic. So he said, oh, we cannot take 2 programs at the same, let's do it today. So the cops were rushed into it. The cops were being reluctant because I was on a local TV channel here, and during the course we were getting updates saying that they will not allow the parade from Vidhana Sauda till Chinnaswamy Stadium, and they said there will only 30,000 people be allowed. And then, if that was the scenario, if they understood what was happening, they should have put things in perspective. I go across and I'm being very honest. We have lost 11 lives. This is tragedy. This is a tragedy which should never have happened.
Absolutely. 11 lives lost for what? Because of poor arrangements. End of the day, would you like to respond to that and admit to that, Mr. Ashwini Kumar Mishra? And of course, Mr. Hoover is making some very serious charges. He's saying that there were certain ministers who didn't want the program to take place tomorrow because of some other engagements. What a shoddy excuse for today, lives being lost.
All these allegations you can put up on the government. Nobody is stopping you. But we did do a proper management. We had enough police personnel, and we did not allow people to go inside the stadium. This now you cannot control the madness. Those people who were marching,
why allow the madness
towards that. No,
Mr. Mishra, Mr. Mishra, may I ask you a question? Mr. Mishra, may I ask you a question? May I ask you a question, Mr. Mishra?
Yeah.
Last night, did you watch the IPL final? Did you see the response in Bengaluru after that?
Yes.
Did you not see the entire night sky and the skyline of Bengaluru, which was completely lit up like it was Diwali? You could see that there were tens of thousands of people celebrating after midnight in Bengaluru. This should have been estimated. Anyone with, a room temperature IQ would have known that there'll be tens of thousands, if not lakhs of people at Chinnaswamy Stadium. What were all the intelligence? What were all the police doing? What were all the political leadership of Karnataka doing?
See, you can put all sort of allegations. I'll just keep repeat like a parrot.
It's not allegations, sir. It's common sense.
No,
it's common sense.
This common sense is that we did not allow people more than the capacity inside the stadium. All these people were huddled up at the roads, and we were having police personnel there. But look at
there are many hands going up. I'm going to come to each of our panelists one by one. GS Prashant, your response: we handled it well. The police were informed; they were in place. Yet 11 Bengalurians have had to suffer today. GS Prashant.
This is probably the most pathetic ever reason given by Congress spokesperson today, saying that they were prepared. Firstly, the BCCI is saying they did not organize. The IPL chairman says he did not organize. RCB is saying they did not organize. Who organized this event? Who gave the permission? Who instructed the cops to either be in numbers of 5,000 or more or less? Who instructed this? Why was there not a single ambulance even in the stadium? Those are basic necessities. A fire engine and an ambulance are basic necessities to be had in a cricket stadium when the match is going on. Today there was no match, but you had equal amount of people coming in. No security arrangements there, no safety arrangements there, and DK Shivakumar wants to flaunt with the IPL trophy. What sort of a photo op is this? And did the Congress government inform the players before the felicitation that people have lost lives? I'm sure no player would have agreed to be felicitated after learning of losing the life of 11 fans.
One by one. Mr. Mishra, you have spoken. Please let others speak. Yes.
The players were not informed that fans have died, and you felicitated them only for photo op of the Congress government. This is nothing but state-sponsored, Congress-sponsored murders of innocent cricket-loving fans in Karnataka here.
Let me bring in Syed Aslam Pasha now. That's an important point you've made. And I think, the most shocking event, leave alone the lack of planning, the lack of coordination, the most shocking thing, Mr. Syed Aslam Pasha, is this. People die. The news comes around 5:15, 5:30 this evening. It's out there on all the national channels. Yet around 6:15, we're all shocked to see that there are songs like "We Are the Champions" playing out. The cricketers are on the stage. Mr. Shivakumar is on the field. And you have the IPL chairman who was on our channel a few hours ago saying that ask the Congress and the state government because it's their leaders who are present. Don't blame the KSCA, as Mr. Siddaramaiah was saying. How do you defend this, Mr. Pasha?
Madhav, first of all, I would like to express my heartfelt condolences for the people who have lost their lives. This time is to stay united and do the damage control. Now, first of all, the happiness and the joy for the victory of RCA is short-lived because of this tragic incident. Now, when you have an overwhelming crowd of 1 lakh people, the gentleman who was saying that there was sufficient arrangement for security said nothing is enough when you have an overwhelming crowd of more than 1 lakh people. No security is good enough. My only point to make here, Madhav, is there has
so no
been
one is
rush.
accountable.
Yes.
Mr. Pasha, the crowds are to blame.
No.
You are echoing what Mr. Siddaramaiah is saying. You will blame those who are the victims, the crowds. Say that nobody is to blame. When it's 1 lakh, we can't do anything. We lift our hands up and, why do we have a government then?
Absolutely not. The law and
What
order
is the government there for, sir? Let there be a free for all every day.
Law and order and the well-being of the people is the government's responsibility. And of course, the government is to be blamed. The planning should have been delayed by a day. And of course, managing 1 lakh people within 12 hours or 13 hours, the planning will not be sufficient to do the planning.
I'm glad you at least admitted that much. I'm glad that Mr. Pasha on national television, at least you admitted that the planning should have waited for a day. Let me bring in the only police personnel on the panel, Mr. Sanjay Sahai. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, there are multiple things that have gone wrong today. From the perspective of planning, no crowds were properly estimated. Crowd management in terms of where, as Joseph was telling us a short while earlier, they could have, held the crowds at certain locations, not allowed them to proceed towards Chinnaswamy, which led to this kind of stampede situation. Permissions for the victory parade were given, were announced, then they were said they were not happening, then they said they'll happen again they are cancelled. Tickets, another area of confusion. Some apps were announced that they will be sold through that. Then they said, no, it's going to be a free-for-all, free entry. It's a complete recipe for chaos on multiple levels, Mr. Sai.
We'll come to that, and I don't deny most of the things which you have already stated. But one point I'll bring forth is that the political class spokespersons or chief ministers or whosoever the person may be, everybody feels he's an expert on crowd management. And over the years, what has happened is crowd management, police has also started believing that the politicians understand and it is handed over to them. Some spokesperson here on this particular channel talks about 5,000 to 1 lakh and 1:20. Where did he pick up all these facts? I am not aware of. I spent 32 years in the police. Crowd management, unfortunately, is something which people don't learn in this country. And people I talk, police professionals, there are anti-riot forces like the Rapid Action Force and all that. So they have the capability. But for that, the capability with the state police is limited. Right. How do you make up for that? You make up for that by planning, by intelligence, by the various methods which you have in place. Now you get 10 hours time. I also don't believe that 10 hours you can't do. If tomorrow there is a Prime Minister's visit in 10 hours time, I think they will deliver much better than what they have delivered now. So I don't go by that. See, time and urgency, that has to be compensated by resources, by planning, by execution, by monitoring and whatnot. Here straight away, see, one is the callousness and second is the audacity which has happened after this incident. And audacity is worse. And that audacity says that we are not responsible. And it's not only the government, nobody is responsible, which means civilians are held hostage by both the governments and crashed commercialization of IPL. If Rajiv Shukla does not know, if nobody knows, money is going to BCCI coffers, right?
Absolutely.
And if they take the responsibility that events of this nature, we will also chip in, not denying what police has done. Because see, you see the visuals. Where is the police? Where are those 5,000 guys? And whether those 5,000 guys have any capability of crowd management. They could have requisitioned RAF. They could have got other specialized forces. You don't have one single barricade. You don't have any single one-way flow. So I can go on and on and on. So this can be a very good case study in mismanagement of crowd.
Absolutely.
And then the Honorable Chief Minister says, in Vidhan Sabha nothing happened. Were you waiting something to happen on Vidhan Sabha also? And then you say this is an event which we don't know. Okay, even if they have not taken permission, the whole country was aware of this event. You did not need any intelligence. You are supposed to react. It's not the job of the police to give permissions. We are not there to deliver judgments. We are there to deliver execution, and execution in a manner for which we should not cry. So accountability, whose accountability we don't know.
Absolutely. And let me bring in, since you mentioned the spokesperson, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, your pearls of wisdom on how crowds should be managed and how the state government has passed with flying colours, being completely exposed by the senior police official, retired AGP, Mr. Sanjay Sahai. How do you respond to him?
Do you know how many police personnel was deployed in Mahakumbh? 50,000 on 40 crores, one on 8,000. We were having 5,000 and expecting a crowd, allowed 30,000 and expecting a crowd of 1 lakh. I don't understand the logic that why 1 to 20 is not enough ratio. And moreover, we did follow protocols. We did not allow people inside the stadium, but the kind of madness was happening on the road. It became unmanageable for the police. And I think that's pretty much the reason the stampede happened in the first place. I'm not denying the fact that the stampede happened, people died, and there will be an inquiry set up to see what was the root cause of it. But having said that, you cannot blame government right away. And one more thing, don't lecture. Your own MP PC Mohan, your own MP PC Mohan was keeping that. Why did we cancel the parade? We were supposed to have a parade. We canceled it because of this. And your own MP PC Mohan was keeping. Why did we cancel it?
By you blaming the civilians. You cannot blame the civilians or the fans. The buck stops with the government, and the CM, the DCM and the Home Minister are directly responsible for the loss of life of 11.
One by one, gentlemen, one by one. Let me quickly bring in some of our other panelists who have not yet gotten a chance. Avantika Shetty, would you like to come in here? You know, when you hear these kind of excuses, blame game, it doesn't matter. Whether it is Kumbh, whether it is Chinnaswamy Stadium, it is citizens who are dying at the end of the day. Do we not have a right to discuss these things? And for what have these lives been lost? For basic lack of planning, for basic, look at this poor child. Look at this poor child who has died, this lady who has died. We've seen such horrible scenes come out of Chinnaswamy Stadium today, and yet there is nothing but partisan politics that we're hearing. It doesn't matter whether it's a BJP government or a Congress government. Who is going to be held accountable?
See, we all know that, there's a fan frenzy to RCB. The Bengaluru fans are so crazy about RCB that, they waited for 18 years. And after 18 years of victory, it is of no surprise that, people will be so excited and, they would want to reach the stadium to witness the parade. Like Mr. George rightly said, it should have managed in such a way, like Mahakumbh ki example they're giving, there were barricades at every place, that those routes going to the Chinnaswamy Stadium should have planned better. There should have been barricades stopping people there only. Why stopping people outside the stadium? Obviously, if you stop people outside the stadium, it'll be crazy outside. The whole route should have been planned better. Crowd management should have been done very well to avoid such an incident. And now after something like this has happened, an investigation, it will not bring those 11 people, dead 11 people alive, right? It is certainly the management lapse, certainly.
All right, certainly a management lapse. Amrit Chennai, how do you like to respond to this? Because, blame game happening, and the absolutely callous nature. Police are not to blame. After the deaths are reported, allowing the event to take place, what's going on? This is like... bad enough that there was poor planning, rather than taking responsibility, saying that, no, we are not going to be held accountable. What kind of arrogance is this, Amrit Chennai?
First of all, let me express my deepest condolences to the families. But I appreciate Chief Minister's honest views and honest expression. He did not defend. He did not say that mistake did not take place. He said, I have formed one magisterial investigation committee. And that committee, that investigation should take place in 3 aspects.
Directly responsible for killing 11 people, and now
you have spoken already.
And you're supporting that?
My turn to speak.
Okay, let him make his point. You can respond to him. Prashant, you can respond to him. Let him. He's just started speaking. He hasn't spoken through the debate. Let him make his point quickly.
Yes. My point is,
but you know, I'm just to interrupt what you just said. You know, the Chief Minister also has given a long list of excuses. We didn't estimate the crowd. We didn't. Yeah, no, but you must also admit that Chief Minister has given a long list of excuses.
Let me complete, sir. How I can deny what Chief Minister has told? See, this is the first of its kind program. After the wait of 18 years, fans have gone crazy. And I have heard Siddaramaiah ji told he was expecting 30,000, at the most double the figure, 60,000. But crowd was about 2 to 3 lakh. So accident took place. This is a lesson to all parties and all people who run the government, even in the future. This is the first of its kind. Now we have to discuss what went wrong, why went wrong, not political blame games. BJP is so insensitive. And they have started.
Sir, okay, forget BJP. Let's get some of other guys. Once again, Prashant, just coming to you. Once again. Avantika Shetty, do you buy this argument that instead of 30 it should have been 60,000? 2 lakhs we could not estimate.
It is common sense.
All are intervening here.
We are a country of cricket lovers.
I did not intervene,
and RCB
madam,
fans are in every part of the country.
I was calm and quiet.
There will be interventions, sir, please. This is a debate. It's not a monologue. Please listen to the response now coming in from Avantika Shetty. Yes, Avantika.
What is the population in Bangalore? Every Bangalorean is an RCB fan. Not everybody will land up at the stadium, but at least estimate according to your population of your state, of your city, right? It is common sense, sir. I mean, he estimated 30,000 and people landed up in lakhs. That's crazy. That's crazy excuse.
If only one-sided view is allowed here, this is not the debate. This is just.
But sir, this is not about BJP or Congress. This is not about BJP or Congress.
You should allow everybody to speak proper.
No, nobody is abusing anyone. You are here to make your point, but the point is here: who is going to hold? Just answer one question, sir. Who is accountable for the 11 deaths today? Just answer that one question. It doesn't matter if it's BJP or it's Congress. If you believe BJP is responsible, look at this child's death. Just look at this picture of this child. Who's responsible for the killing of this child? You tell me.
Even if you said
Amrit Chennai, who is responsible?
Let me answer. No.
It's a very casual attitude,
talk to all those who blame government and do politicize. See, this is not the time to blame.
This has nothing to do with politics. It's about accountability. This has nothing to do with politics. Please understand that whether there is a BJP or a JDS government also today, those questions will be asked of that government. Prashant, I want you to respond to it. This is nothing but politics being done by BJP. Your response. Yes, Prashant.
Where is the politics by BJP? These people are directly responsible for 11 people's death and they're blaming BJP for that. Can it get any worse off than this? Trying to defend this position of Congress, saying that BJP is responsible. They did not plan, they did not anticipate. There's total intelligence failure, and now they want to blame the BJP. This is atrocious. I'm telling you, this atrocious mindset of the Congress, which has resulted in loss of lives. Nobody is even accountable in Congress. Where is the Home Minister? Where is the Chief Minister is giving lame excuses? The DCM is flaunting with the IPL trophy and the Home Minister is not to be seen.
Let's take a step back and look at some of the examples that Karishma was sharing with us a few minutes ago. I want to just bring in Karishma on this. Karishma, we saw that the other teams, KKR, I believe you mentioned, they had a similar victory parade. It was 3 days after the victory in IPL. Similarly, we saw the T20 World Cup victory. What happened in those cases? Was there a similar situation that was witnessed?
No, Madhav, absolutely not, because like I said, in KKR's case, of course, they did it 3 days later after the final, so they had ample time to plan it out and to ensure that no untoward incident takes place. As far as the T20 World Cup is concerned, of course, there was a hurricane in Barbados, so there were ample days for Mumbai as well to plan this out, to prepare and have, maximum people to ensure there's no untoward incident. And there was a panelist earlier who was talking about 30,000 is the capacity. So we were just expecting 60,000. And Avantika spoke about common sense. Common sense, I mean, if you can expect 2 lakh people in Ahmedabad, which is not the home state for Bengaluru, then why are you not expecting 2 lakh, 3 lakh people to come in when you have 18 years of wait? You know what it means to that state, to the people of Bengaluru who are crazy after Virat Kohli. Why will they not come out in numbers? Why will they just be 60,000?
Common sense is being spoken about, Ashwini Kumar Mishra. If you can have 2 lakh people in Ahmedabad, which is not the home stadium of RCB, surely you should have thought that there would be similar number of people in Bengaluru at least.
there was an advisory from the government about the number of people as well, and we were planning to have a parade as well, which we cancelled, and that was criticized by BJP MP PC
That's
Mohan.
just too little, too late.
No. What we are trying to say is we are not running away from the accountability. We need to see the reasons for the stampede, and we will investigate that, and people who are accountable for it will be held responsible. But you cannot just blatantly blame that nothing was done, nothing was properly done. Enough police personnel were deployed, and we were expecting a crowd, but we were not
avoidable. Mr. Mishra, do you believe these deaths were avoidable?
Will ultimately hold this security.
They could have been prevented. They were preventable. Do you believe that this is actually a murder of the citizens of Bengaluru?
No, it is not. Why? You can control the crowd, but you cannot control the madness.
You could not control the crowd. That is exactly what is visible here.
You can control the crowd. You cannot control the madness, and you can look at the madness. It was happening outside the stadium.
So ultimately, the crowd is to be blamed. Wonderful. Joseph Hoover, ultimately the crowd is to be blamed. You can control the crowd. You cannot control the madness. To quote what Mr. Mishra has just said. Do you agree with him, Joseph?
Definitely not. What has the crowd done there? See, I would squarely blame the IPL Governing Council. I will squarely blame the KSC authorities. I will blame the RCB. I will also blame the government. Everybody was responsible for this. To blame the crowd is unacceptable. We all expected, because I was there around that region. I saw the crowd, I took the metro and I got back home. I said, this is going to be chaos. When I could judge as a layman, definitely there are intelligence people. I wouldn't blame the cops at all, because cops were pushed into doing this because they were reluctant to give permission for a parade, even from the Vidhana Sauda to KSCA, Chinnaswamy Stadium. So to blame the crowd is definitely not acceptable. And as earlier Karishma and Avnitika said, we knew what the people were anticipating, what they wanted to see. They wanted to be part of the celebration, and they wanted to be there. So if you talk about when Siddaramaiah says we expected 30,000, but so many people came, it's not correct at all. They knew people are going to come and the lakhs, because last night Bengaluru celebrated until 3 o'clock.
Absolutely. Those pictures are all over the social media, and if the intelligence authorities there could not give that feedback to the concerned officials, then I wonder what kind of intelligence gathering is going on in Bengaluru. But Aslam Pasha, you need to respond to that. Joseph Hoover says as a common citizen he saw the kind of crowds and went back home. Now this is information that could have been passed on much earlier. It's out there on social media. Everybody was expecting a sea of people there outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Everybody, except for those who are responsible.
No, I mean, Mr. Joseph said it rightly. The blame has to be taken by all the three units. One is, of course, the IPL management, the KSCA, and of course, the government also. My only point of submission here is, Madhav, this could have been delayed. There are the joy and the enjoyment of the people after 18 years of wait, you would not be able to control. We have seen the crowd in Ahmedabad, and it was expected in Bangalore to swell more. But of course, this had to be postponed for a day or two to manage it better.
So why didn't that happen? Who was in a hurry?
No, I mean,
who was in a hurry to conduct it today?
So Madhav, like the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, has already ordered for a magisterial inquiry. But that, of course, it will come out. The inquiry would happen, and whoever is responsible will certainly be punished. But the point is, today the helpless Bangaloreans have suffered. This should not have happened, and all the three entities are equally responsible.
No, but Mr. Pasha, it's very well that you've come out. At least you are admitting that it could have been delayed, that there were some lapses in management. But the question that still remains, was this a photo opportunity for political leaders, and what are political leaders doing at the Chinnaswamy Stadium in the first place?
Madhav, I wouldn't take it like that. The emotions were very high, and everyone is excited and overwhelmed with the victory. And the only
simple point is, sir, if we have political leaders who, despite citizens dying, continue with a celebration in that manner, it is extremely insensitive, and it just does not send out the right message. This kind of celebration is extremely insensitive, and it's an insult to those people who've lost their lives.
Exactly.
When people have lost lives, certainly the celebration should not continue, and I'm not denying for that fact, Madhav. I'm absolutely agreeing to the fact that the celebration should not continue, and when people lose life, 11 lives have been lost. Of course, that should have been curbed.
I want Mr. Sanjay Sahai to come in on this though. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, one of our panelists at least admits that these celebrations could have been delayed by a day. Perhaps some of these lives would have been saved. Perhaps all of these lives would have been saved. Who knows?
When people openly they are saying that we can control crowd, we cannot control madness. What does it mean? I fail to understand. Whether dead bodies mean anything or not, I'm talking like a civilian, I'm not talking like a police officer and an ex-police officer. And then comparing Kumbh to this, I just don't understand what is going all around the place. You are battling it out on dead bodies. It is a natural human reaction that if you see a dead body, rest everything is closed. That's the end, period. There ends the matter. And you're talking about magisterial inquiry and this inquiry and that inquiry. I think after the press conference, how many of you people are convinced of the fact that the inquiries will deliver anything? Some deputy commissioner will do the inquiry, right? Is it not a part of this? Make a civilian team of professionals. Make a civilian team of professionals, of intelligence experts, of crowd management experts, of technology experts, and do an inquiry and see what is going to come out. The results of any inquiry in this country is dependent on who makes that committee.
Absolutely.
You see, Verma, what is happening? I'm not going to connect this thing. This is where we are. Inquiry will happen. How many? There was no inquiry in Hathras. There was no inquiry in Chennai. There was no inquiry in that temple thing somewhere else. So there have been inquiries going on. The point is, out of our money, you don't deploy resources for us because you don't understand. And police officers in this country are not going to put their neck out. And I think literally everybody in this panel is agreeing on the fact that they have been directed by the government.
Absolutely.
But if we are directed by the government to do things which will land the population in this sort of a calamity, will we do that? Every single IPS officer in this country is appointed by President of India and nobody else. And they are provided with that level of immunity so as to stand erect and deliver. And who gave this 35,000 figure? Who gave this 35,000 figure? Which intelligence officer has given this 35,000 figure? If you create your own rule books and toolkits of policing, and just because you have public domain presence and you spread whatever you feel like, that becomes policing. Unfortunately, that has become policing.
Absolutely.
5,000 deployment is policing.
I want to put that question to Amrit Shenoy. Amrit Shenoy, where is this figure of 30,000 come from? I mean, you seriously believe that because Chinnaswamy has a capacity of 30,000 people will disciplined come, sit down in their seats and go back home safely. What kind of logic is this? Can the political leadership be so disconnected from the people of Bengaluru?
Once inquiry is over, in the result you will get the answers. What went wrong? Why arrangements were... See, why, brother, please wait now. Why, where and what went wrong? How a police could not manage the crowd?
And you still want inquiry? Inquiry to find out whether Siddaramaiah is responsible, DK Shivakumar or Parameshwar, all the three are equally responsible. That can be inquiry by the common man. A common man will tell you today that these three are responsible and let them first resign and face any investigation. They will not do that. They will want to blame, Congress will want to blame the security guard of the KSCA saying that he allowed more people inside. They will blame the crowd, they will blame somebody else, and they will blame probably God, saying that it was act of God.
Okay,
but
some questions from the BJP coming in. Respond to that, Amrit Shenoy. One second. Prashant, you can respond to him right after this. But yes, Amrit Shenoy. Amrit Shenoy, very serious questions. Please respond.
No, I will not answer. That fellow will interrupt.
The floor is yours, sir. Please. Nobody will interrupt you. Now make your point.
You are not ready to stop him when he is interrupting.
I just stopped him and I'm giving you the floor to speak. Do you want to speak or not?
Yes, I will speak.
Then please respond.
There are three aspects. One, exactly the same what ex-police officer told. Who gave that figure? Who gave that figure? One, where the crowd went and what the management of that stadium did. It is their responsibility to manage the crowd, though it comes under government. But there are some human beings who should have taken the control. the inquiry will go into that matter. One more thing you missed in the debate. There was one WhatsApp message, and viral it was, that everybody gets a chance to sit within the stadium and get a chance. So that message initiated by some, antisocial element who wanted to, maybe, I don't know what was their motive. So all these things will come out after the inquiry. But I go with that police person, another panelist, that rather than having the investigation from one person, some civil experts should have been included in that committee. That government may take, I don't know.
Sir, citizens will die and we will continue to inquire. The point is that these preparations, these inquiries, these investigations should be done before such events, not after, when such tragedies take place. GS Prashant, your response.
Madhav, this is exactly what I was pointing out. Congress will blame the security guard of KSCA. They will blame the crowd. They will blame the metro, the delay in metro services. They will blame everybody. They will blame God. But they will safeguard Siddaramaiah, Shivakumar and Parameshwar, those three who are directly responsible for the death of 11 people here. 11 crazy cricket fans.
Amit Shah has resigned. How many times Yogi Adityanath has
not
resigned?
because of some 1:20,
how many
1:80,
you
1:160 ratios. But these three people are responsible.
Delhi station,
Let Rahul Gandhi come and give a statement.
how many resignation you saw when you have a stampede?
Let him condemn the Congress government here.
You even burned the dead bodies. You never gave the count.
He will never do anything. Rahul Gandhi, let him answer this. He will not. Rahul Gandhi wants to defame our army, navy and air force for taking on Pakistan.
It doesn't matter. Frankly, it does not matter whether it's your stampede, my stampede, A stampede, B stampede, X's stampede, Y stampede. It's citizens of India who are actually dying at the end of the day. I think that is what is the tragedy. When you politicize all of these incidents that take place, yes, administration has to be responsible, but frankly, it does not matter to the citizens of this country because it's about their own lives. They are fellow citizens who have died over here, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Avantika Shetty, all of these arguments of politics, etc., it's about our system. How can we have a system where lives are so cheap?
Like, since everybody is giving examples of various stampedes, a recent stampede that happened in Hyderabad, they didn't even take time and they arrested Allu Arjun because they believed he was responsible. That was very quick. Why can't it happen here? Why can't people be quick and figure out who's responsible and put them behind bars? Why investigation and stuff?
Respond to that, Mr. Mishra. Who's going to be arrested by tonight?
Yeah.
No.
Who's going to be arrested tonight? Who's responsible for that?
Allu Arjun was already pre-informed that you will not go there. There are chances of he did not have permission to go to the event. Don't relate that to this.
Yeah, but then he was arrested, right? So
no, he was arrested. He was arrested because he did not follow the instruction from the government which was given to them. He did not follow the advisory from the government. It was given to them that he should not be visiting that theater. So don't mix two things. And I'm quoting it again. Don't.
Since you're mixing other things, so I thought I should also.
No, I'm not mixing.
And Mahakum, you're talking about Mahakum. I was personally there. I was personally there to see the management. I was personally there at Mahakum to see the management. Everything was managed very well.
I come from Uttar Pradesh. My parents were there for a month. Let's not get into that. How many people died in Mahakum?
It does not matter, sir. It does not matter. You're comparing, giving example of other states is perfectly entitled. The big question is who's going to be held accountable, Mr. Mishra? Give us that answer. Who will be held accountable?
How dare BJP can ask for the accountability when they were never accountable for what happened in their state? We are telling that we are accountable, we are putting inquiry, we'll know about the truth and we'll take the action promptly. We'll take the action accordingly and we'll figure out who's accountable, we'll figure out who's accountable and we will take the action. Let's not jump onto the conclusion.
Okay. Mr. Saha's hand is going up. I'm going to give him a chance to respond to that. Mr. Sanjay Sai.
No, I just hope and pray that people don't fight over the dead. And India's political DNA of complete indifference and creating political optics from whatever. my personal understanding is, I think the government went overboard with this celebration and nobody knew what was happening.
Let's leave it there. Very, very sobering thoughts and in fact tragic events that have taken place today. We certainly hope that no such celebration turns into this kind of a tragedy in any part of the country, that there are adequate arrangements made, whether it is for crowd management or for estimation or for security or whatever it may be, because this what has taken place today is completely unacceptable. GS Prashant, Joseph Hoover, Avantika Shetty, Sanjay Zai, Ashwini Kumar, Vishra, Amrit Shenoy, Syed Islam Pasha and my colleague Karishma Singh, thanks so much for joining us this evening.